Good morning, welcome. Thank you all for joining us for our 30-minute informational webinar about the Solar for All Bristol campaign. My name is Emily Basham, and I'm the Manager of Partnership Development at the Connecticut Green Bank. And we're excited to talk to you guys about the Solar for All Bristol program. Here's our agenda for the call. Just a couple of housekeeping items. All attendees are muted, but you can chat with us and ask your questions through the chat feature on the webinar platform. We'll try and get to a couple of questions at the end if we have time. This webinar is being recorded, so we will post the recording soon after the webinar on our campaign website, which you'll see on the slide, posigen.com/solar-for-all-Connecticut. You can also get to this website by using this QR code you'll see on the screen. So if you open your camera phone and hover over this QR code without taking a picture, you'll be prompted to go to the internet window for our campaign website. And this QR code will be available on the screen at the end of the presentation as well. And so with our time today, we'd like to go over what the Solar for All program is, how it works, and what our next steps are. And whatever we don't get to, we'd be happy to follow up with you one-on-one through our website on the Solar for All Connecticut page. And our contact information will also be available at the end of the presentation. The Solar for All program is supported by a public-private partnership between the Connecticut Green Bank and PosiGen. The Connecticut Green Bank is an independent public agency created by the legislature to make clean energy more accessible and affordable. And PosiGen is a solar and energy efficiency company. So together, we work to bring solar and energy efficiency to communities that have been underserved by traditional solar programs. With no credit score requirement or an income requirement, the Solar for All program really eliminates a lot of the barriers to going solar. And since 2015, when we launched the Solar for All program here in Connecticut, over 3,000 families have signed up to participate, and they're seeing savings on average of $700 in the first year. And many of these families are moderate or low income families. And the success of the Solar for All program is largely due to our kind of grassroots style of outreach, and it relies on community partnerships. So we've run 7 Solar for All campaigns so far in various communities across the state, and we're very excited to partner with the City of Bristol to bring these resources to families in Bristol. So now I'd like to turn it over to our partners at the City of Bristol, David Oakes, to say a couple of words about the program.
Hello and good morning. My name is David Oakes. I'm the Facilities and Energy Manager for the City of Bristol Public Works Department. I want to thank you all for taking the time out of your morning to attend our webinar for the Solar for All campaign in Bristol. As Emily mentioned, the city's partnered with the Connecticut Green Bank and PosiGen to help assist Bristol homeowners access home solar in an effort to reduce costs and promote sustainability in the city. For those of you attending who might not be aware, the City of Bristol is a bronze level certified municipality in the statewide Sustainable CT program. We were one of the first municipalities in the state to do so in 2018, and we continue our efforts to conduct more sustainable operations and initiatives within the city. Solar home systems are a great way for Bristol homeowners to live more sustainably, which is one goal of our City Energy Commission. And it also helps save money, which is especially important during these unpredictable COVID times that have resulted in higher levels of home energy consumption due to quarantine measures and a lot of folks working from home. The savings from home solar often allow the homeowner to use those savings to put back into the local community and local businesses, which helps strengthen Bristol as a whole. I'm going to turn over the presentation shortly to Susan Young, who's the Community and Marketing Manager for PosiGen. But a little background on Susan. She didn't first just work for PosiGen. She was a customer in 2014. Shortly after her system was activated, she was so fascinated by the savings and the operations of it that she reached out to them, and she was hired. Susan wanted to inform other families and communities about the benefits of having solar. And Susan has been with PosiGen for 5 years now and is very passionate about the Solar for All mission. And we're lucky to have her as a partner in the city of Bristol. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Susan. Thank you, Susan.
Great. Thank you so much, David. Thank you so much. Okay, my name is Susan Young, and the PosiGen story has really been an inspiration, not just for myself, but for countless many other families throughout the state of Connecticut. The ability for us to partner right now with the Solar for All Bristol program is just tremendously a positive note for many families. I remember for myself, and let me just talk just maybe a few words about PosiGen first. So when PosiGen began in Louisiana back in 2011, post-Katrina, many families were struggling with their, with all the devastation that was happening. It really was born out of, I would say just so much chaos that was going on at the time. But the PosiGen mission is to it's about making a positive financial impact on the lives of homeowners. So my story pretty much is that when PosiGen first came to Connecticut, I have been looking at solar and renewable energy for quite some time, but I was being told I need to have 30,000 down, or I didn't meet this requirement or whatever. It was just always something. When I first heard about PosiGen, for me, it was like, okay, this just seems too good to be true. But I pretty much looked into it. I called, I had the appointment. Of course, now we're all doing virtual, but I called, a gentleman came out to my home. He informed me about the program that Connecticut has, this Solar for All. And once I heard about the program and I completed the agreement and everything, went through the process, I got my first bill and I was just so inspired. I was so, it was such a low bill, much lower than what I used to pay with just the utility company. And just to see the renewable energy, the panels at work on my home, helping me to lower my high electric costs was just instrumental. So I definitely believe that this solar power and energy efficiency that PosiGen has combined really it's the key to reducing energy costs for households throughout the state of Connecticut and any other states for that matter. Because I am certainly able now to maximize, my family savings. So renewable energy shouldn't be accessible only to the rich or only for those with a high income or excellent credit score or whatever else. It should be available to everyone. PosiGen makes solar and energy efficiency available, but not only available, but it's also affordable. So like David had mentioned, I just, it was such a fantastic system. And, I decided to reach out to PosiGen and tell them I need to let more families know about the savings, because there's so many families that are struggling with the high electric rates and the cost and all of that. And I've been with PosiGen now for 5 years. Time flies. And I am now the community marketing manager. And really, I am still passionate, even after 5 years, of telling everyone throughout the state of Connecticut, especially Bristol. Now we're doing a Solar for All Bristol. There is help out there. You can have your energy savings. You don't have to be stressed out with the high cost of electric bill. You can keep more of your hard-earned money. by looking into this program, okay? And with that, I will now turn over to Jonathan Drum to explain about the PosiGen system, no money down, no credit required, and it is definitely something worthwhile looking into. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Great, thank you, Susan. My name is Jonathan Drum. I'm one of the sales managers in our Hartford office for PosiGen, and I'll share with you the basics of the program. We pair, as Susan mentioned, we pair energy efficiency with solar. So we're looking at the whole envelope of the home, so to speak. We're looking to save as much as we possibly can with everyone that we possibly can. If you could move to the next slide. When we are talking about solar in the state of Connecticut, south is the best location for solar. If your house has a portion of the house facing south, that's going to be the best location for solar because the sun is always in the southern hemisphere for us. East is good, west is good, but south is really the best. And how does solar work? I'll go very quickly, just so that we keep on track. Basically, the sun hits the solar panels, turns it into electricity, which is a DC current and needs to be converted to AC to be used in your home. So the electricity travels from the solar panels down to an inverter, which is located where your meter is now, and turns the electricity from DC to AC, sends it into the house. So anything that's using energy will use a solar power real time. It's an absolutely gorgeous day outside. If you had solar on your roof, all of your lights and everything would be mostly powered by the sun. What happens most of the time, especially in the spring, the summer, and the fall, when we're generating the most electricity in Connecticut, is you're generating more electricity during the daytime than you're actually using. And that extra electricity gets sent out to the grid. So Eversource uses it, but they bank it in your account for later. I kind of akin it to rollover minutes or a piggy bank, where all day long, if you're out working or you're going having fun outside, your extra electricity is being sent out to the grid, but it's being banked for you so that if you turn the lights on at 11, 12 o'clock at night, you're obviously not generating power anymore. You would be pulling your electricity from the utility company, but you would be pulling from your banked energy first. So you get to use everything that the system produces. It's yours to use, whether it be later that day or later in the month. Or the beauty of solar is all of that extra electricity that you're generating in the spring, the summer, and the fall can carry you through the winter most of the time. If you go to the next slide, we also pair solar with energy efficiency, because generating you power is one thing, but if all of that energy that you're using to heat and cool your home is going outside, then you're wasting more money. So we pair our solution with energy efficiency solutions. We come out and we do a blower door test, which allows us to figure out where your gaps are in the home, where air is escaping. We'll seal up windows and doors, give you LED light bulbs. We have a list of about 30 different things that we do. We even look at doing upgrades like no other company in the state. We do quite a bit on energy efficiency, and the salesperson that you would speak with would obviously go into great detail there. But we know that we're saving folks anywhere between 20 and 30% on average in the state of Connecticut, not only on your kilowatt consumption for electricity, but also your heating and your cooling. You can see the graph here showing you, much of the areas that we're finding solutions to save energy. So ultimately, we're looking to save, and we're looking to generate that power. What happens going forward is you would have a utility bill that is dramatically lower than what it used to be. You pay nothing up front for any of these services. We come out, we install the system, we make sure the system is running, and then you would have a lease payment, which is dramatically lower than what you've been paying to Eversource. If you go to the next slide, there's kind of a visual of that, where you have your current payment that you're doing right now. Going forward, you would still have an electric bill because Eversource and UI are controlling the wires of the house and the state. But in general, we're going to see an overall savings, and that savings continues for the next 20 years and beyond. Our solar lease price is a fixed cost, so you know what to budget for going forward. The vast majority of your electric costs would be found in that lease, and then we will explain the rest as we go. If you go to the next slide, we go into a little bit more detail of the program. That we are the only company in the entire country that has no income or credit requirements when it comes to going solar. We have an affordable 20-year lease that has a fixed cost. That payment will never change. And with our partnership with the Green Bank, we've come up with 4 system sizes that we offer folks: a small, medium, large, and extra large, with a fixed cost that we have parameters around. Of course, if we need to mix and match and do different things for you, if you use just a lot of electricity and you need 2 extra large systems, we can do that. We're going to guarantee savings is the bottom line. And once we've paired energy efficiency with solar, you're going to see a dramatic difference in your bills going forward for the future. And of course, with a lease, all maintenance and upkeep is included. So our process would be, if you go to the next slide, we would look to schedule a meeting with you to review your electric bill, to figure out what are you using today and what can we do to help you? How much electricity can we produce with your home? Trees take into effect, and all different types of things that will affect how much energy we can produce for you. But we will explain that to you. Assuming everything makes sense and we're going to save you money, we begin the process by evaluating your roof and your electric and make sure that the home itself is in good shape to move forward. As far as we're concerned, you qualify to go solar. It's a matter of, does your house qualify? Once we make sure that that is the case, we would move forward with permitting. We take care of that entire process. We would then schedule your installation, then wait for the town inspector to inspect our work, have Eversource come out and change your meter to what's called a net meter. Would run both ways, as we explained before, that with your banked energy being used at a later time. Once the net meter is installed, we can turn your system on and you can start saving money. And then of course you pay it forward and talk to your friends and family about how much you're loving saving money and continuing to do so going forward. I'll pass it back over to Susan, or I'm sorry, back over to Emily, and she can kind of wrap up our call and open to questions if anyone has questions.
Thanks, Jonathan. Yeah, so if you have any questions, as a good reminder, go ahead and use the chat function of the webinar platform to submit any questions. And we heard earlier from Susan her story about wanting to go solar and being quoted a pretty hefty price to purchase panels or to put them installed on her house. And this program is a lease program. And as Jonathan mentioned, there's no money down until you turn your system on. We also wanted to give you kind of a more detailed explanation of project economics if you are to go solar with this program by featuring Melvin, who lives in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and went solar with PosiGen in 2015. He has a 6-kilowatt solar system installed on his roof. Melvin's pre-solar electric cost, so his utility bill for the 9,400 kilowatt hours that his home was requiring through the year, was costing him about $50,000 that he was paying in his utility bills. Melvin learned about Solar for All in the Solar for All Bridgeport campaign and signed up and is paying $75 per month for his lease cost. And so that $75 a month over the 20 years of the lease program is $18,000 is what he's paying for his solar system over the 20 years. The Connecticut Green Bank provided a $5,600 incentive, which is allocated to PosiGen, and they pass that incentive through their affordable lease pricing. And so his post-solar electric costs, or what his electric costs are after going solar, is about $34,000, and that's including the $75 monthly lease price. So his costs from before going solar of $50,000 were reduced by a little bit less than $20,000 to $34,000 by going solar with PosiGen. So Melvin saw almost $600 in savings in his first year of going solar, and over the 20 years of the program, he'll see over $16,000 worth of savings. So hopefully this gives you an idea of what kind of savings can be experienced by going solar and using PosiGen Solar Lease program. As you can see, Melvin standing in front of his home on his street in Bridgeport, he was one of the first people to go solar with this program, and he thought, people would walk by and told him he was crazy to try this, solar, and with his experience, he told his neighbors about it, and you can see his neighbors down the street also went solar through the program. So his whole street is experiencing savings, which is a wonderful thing. So Melvin is a happy customer, and we hope you'll look into the program as well. So with that, we encourage you to reach out to the Solar for All Bristol team to learn more. You can visit the website that you see on the screen and schedule the free virtual assessment that Jonathan mentioned to take a look at your home. And you can also contact the team members using the contact information that you see here for myself, Susan, Jonathan, and David. Again, the QR code that you see on the screen can be accessed with your camera phone, and that will take you to this PosiGen.com Solar for All Connecticut website. You can also keep an eye on the PosiGen Facebook page, as well as the City of Bristol Facebook page. And so with that, I'll just take one moment to scan through the questions to see if there's any that we can share. So it looks like there's a question from an attendee asking if savings will start immediately.
Yes.
And I will invite, yep, go ahead, Jonathan, thank you.
Sure. Yeah, so that is one of the key differences between a lease and a purchase when you're looking at solar in the state of Connecticut. Whereas if you were to purchase solar by doing a loan or cutting a check to buy it, there is a time period that will go by to get to that break-even point, so to speak. When you do a lease, because there's absolutely no capital investment on your part, there's no money out of pocket, as soon as we turn that system on, your savings is immediate. Your electric bill will be lower going forward. So your savings is immediate with a lease. Thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan. And it looks like that's all we have for questions, but we look forward to hearing from you. And thank you very much for your time joining us today on the webinar. Take care.